Hello friends, welcome to the Wardenberg Family Farm. We're working on the next farmhouse project right now.
And that got us thinking about all the remodels that we've done in the past in the farmhouse.
You know, when you're in the middle of a big project, sometimes you wonder if you're ever going to get done. Like, I would just like to have a snapshot to see what it's going to look like, and it works out okay.
Yeah, but they always do. They always do. It's sometimes when you're in the middle, you think, I'm in over my head.
And why did we do this?
Yeah. Now, not all of our projects have been big projects. You know, here's a couple little ones we did when we first moved in the farmhouse. Within the first 2 years of moving into the farmhouse, we did quite a few smaller projects. You know, I think when we first moved in, we just started painting right away.
We had a lot of energy, didn't we?
We did. I think more than we have now. But we painted pretty much every room in the house.
Yeah, we did. And it didn't take too long either.
No, we were flying. And the house really didn't need much structural change. It needed just some cosmetics things. Mm-hmm. So, and along with painting, remember we did this fireplace?
Yeah.
When we bought it, it was just like a fake brick.
You know, it looked good from a distance. When you got anywhere within about 15 feet of it, you could see that it was a concrete with a not very attractive brick scratched into it.
Didn't like it.
No.
So he and Jake made this beautiful frame around it. We painted it dark green. I mean, I think that's a big improvement.
Yeah.
You know, and it didn't take that much time of my time. I did the paint. I did the painting.
Yeah.
You know, we did the front stairs going up to the second floor. Remember we pulled that carpet up, how ugly it was?
Oh, that took a lot of sanding and scraping, and then you did a lot of fine painting there, didn't you?
But there was years and years of glue we had to scrape off of there. But yeah, we just painted the sides, got a pretty runner, put up the stairs.
Yeah.
And it's been gorgeous ever since.
You know what the smartest thing we did on that project?
What was that?
We hired somebody to put the carpet in.
Yeah.
Because they did an excellent job, you know.
It's in there nice and tight and perfect, you know.
I'd have got it in okay, and it probably would have looked good from 20 feet away, but when you walked on it, it wouldn't have been secure. So
they did a good job.
Yeah, so they really did a good job. That was the best thing we did on that project.
Yeah.
And I love the lights that you put on there.
Yeah. We have little candles sitting up there now. I have them up at Christmas, so I just kind of leave them up.
The
it just makes a nice atmosphere.
Candles.
Yeah, they're the electric. But it's just kind of nice having candles going up the stairs.
Yeah. So what else did we do?
Well, then we did the pantry.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I mean, for me, it's a big pantry. We lived in a house where there wasn't a pantry at all.
Yeah.
So to some people, my pantry is small. But for an older house, I was thrilled there was any pantry. But it did need a revamped, a couple extra shelves, painted it nice bright yellow. I mean, it's pretty now. It's a pretty pantry and it's organized.
You know how I can tell that it's almost a 200-year-old pantry?
Because of the writing.
Well, that, plus the height of the door.
Oh, that's true.
If you don't pay attention, you hit your head every time you go into the pantry.
I think I just fit in the door over my head. Yeah, it's an old house.
I think the women in, 1840 or so must have averaged about 5'1", 5 foot.
It was perfect for them.
Yeah.
You know, we worked hard in the larder. The whole basement of the farmhouse, it was just an old stone basement with some big old ugly oil tank and a big trough that used to be their refrigerator, right?
I guess, yeah. It seems like it. They put ice in there. But the hard thing was you couldn't get rid of the oil tank until you got rid of the oil boiler. So that all tied into the project. We converted everything over to heat pumps and run by all of our solar systems. So that was dependent.
Yeah, so
but boy, I was glad.
Electric.
I was happy getting the boilers.
That was a nice day, getting that oil tank out of there.
Yeah, because that, it leaves a residual smell too with the oil.
But then you got all the nice shelves on Facebook Marketplace and redid them a little bit.
Yeah, it took a long time to redo them. We had to add other and then stain them. And
he spiffed them up a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
So they probably were 50-year-old shelves, but now they look like they're 100-plus-year-old shelves.
Well, it should be in that old basement.
Yeah.
And we whitewashed the walls. I mean, we had that real nice, and we decorated. Now it's filled with canning stuff. That's what makes it really exciting. And the root cellar needed a lot of work.
Yeah, it did.
It was just like a dungeon when we first got it, with a lot of spiders. And we had to re-clean that all out.
Well, cleaning it out and even doing the whitewash was the easy part. The hard part was putting in the ventilation system, figuring out where to get the ventilation, the blower, and put the lines in and all that. So that's one of those projects where I had no idea where to go in the beginning, and somehow it worked out.
Yeah, you got it all done.
Well, we had to run it through that wall too.
We had to go through. We had to bust through the stone wall in the house.
Yeah, and then I had to rebuild up with the stone around it.
Maybe that wasn't such a small project.
No, it just looks like it.
Yeah, but when it's done, I love my root cellar.
Yeah.
So maybe those were some smaller projects, but then we had some doozies.
Yeah. Well, we're still staining, but we're making a lot of progress.
Yeah. Not real fun, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
So now, out of our bigger projects, what do you think made the biggest difference in the farmhouse look?
I'd say it's our first big project, the outside, working on the porch, because the porch had no curb appeal. It didn't look warm and inviting at all before.
Now, we made some big changes to it.
Yeah, so I liked that one. And then we had visitors. We could enjoy our time on the porch with them before all the other big projects started in the house.
So this front porch, it kind of evolved. When we first bought it, it was just completely barren, like a concrete slab, nothing else. Not even really much landscaping.
No railing. And what the funniest part is, I had that skinny little walkway that went up the side of the house, and you came up on the end.
Yeah, you came up on the side of the porch, the end. I wanted to walk into the front door.
Yeah.
So Donnie got out the tractor we had just got.
Yeah,
that was right after we bought the farm.
Yeah, and I couldn't wait to use the tractor and the loader on the front. So I started tearing it, all the sod up and digging, and I had that going before we had the stone, or before we even decided what kind of hardscaping we were going to put in.
But you end up doing a nice stone walkway, lead each one separate. I mean, it turned out so beautiful. And he put a curve in it. He's the artistic guy. He had a little curve in the sidewalk, but then we had to put concrete steps. He had to pour steps up to the front porch right at the front door.
Yeah.
But that right there helped. But then we had to do something to make it even more charming.
Yeah. It didn't have any railing, so we know a local fence distributor, and we gave them the plans, and they custom made the rail sections for us, and so we put them in place, and that made the biggest difference. So from there on out, though, it was really up to you to find antiques and whatever you wanted out here.
Then we just decorated it, made it charming, made it nice, and in the summer we're out here a lot.
Yeah. So this was probably one of my favorite projects, made the biggest impact, and there were no giant technical issues that had me stumped for a while.
No, it was just some hard work.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's a good thing that we work together on these projects so we never get on each other's nerves.
He's joking. So now, when we went to do the kitchen project, did you have any idea what you were really doing?
You'll have to be honest.
Yes. Yes.
I had a rough vision, but no, I didn't really know how it was all going to come out. It's one of those, like, you have a lump of clay, you start molding it, working it, and sometimes you make a mistake and you redo, and it came out, I think, pretty nice.
It came out stunning.
Yeah, but no, if I'm really honest, I didn't have the complete vision, especially the how-to part, how it was going to all come together.
So the kitchen was actually 2 phases. Shortly after we moved in here, we made some changes. We weren't crazy about the blue countertop and the blue Formica backsplash, so that kind of went pretty quick, and we got new countertops.
Couldn't wait to rip that out.
Yeah, it just wasn't my style. So that was pretty quick, and we had Jake, our son, come in and put up the beadboard on the wall, and I painted it yellow. So, I mean, it got pretty nice right away.
Well, and that's also when we put the countertops on.
And we made the island slightly bigger. It was just this little tiny island. We made it a little bit bigger.
Yep.
But the first phase wasn't that hard, but then came the second phase. And this was just, what, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago?
I remember you came to me with a picture from, what was it?
Pinterest.
Pinterest. And I said, I want something like this, except this and this and this and whatever. Can you do that? I'm like, I don't know.
Sure, you can do it. Well, it all started because I went from a gas stove to an induction burner, an induction stove. Because after canning, I'd used portable induction burners. I liked them so much more than gas. And I had been a gas loyalist for probably 25 years.
You loved it. I didn't think you'd ever move from gas.
But we did. I got an induction stove. And while we're doing it, I'm thinking, the microwave over the stove is not good for canning. You can hardly get the canners under the
that's a bad setup.
Whoever
Even
designed
if you're
that.
not doing canning, it's a bad setup.
So we thought, okay, we got rid of the microwave. But the microwave had the exhaust fan in it.
Yeah.
So then he had to figure out how to work an exhaust fan above the stove. Then...
You needed a place for the microwave then.
Yeah, so he had to build a special cabinet for the microwave.
And it couldn't be just any cabinet. It had to match another, what's that, the step back cabinet.
Step back, yeah. He made it mirror it really nicely. It looks really cool. But also the refrigerator we bought didn't fit under the cabinet was there. So he had to tear that cabinet out. So then we're thinking, okay, can we do something pretty on that side? So
you can't just order another cabinet that was thinner that matched the others. So
what all did you make? You started with over the stove.
Yeah. So we had to build a custom cabinet over the stove, and I had to try to recreate the concept that was in that Pinterest idea.
Picture.
The hardest part, though, that really, I tripped on was it needs a fan and a light insert, and how do I get that? I didn't know that they made them separate. So it turned out that I could order an insert and make a custom hood. So we started off with the insert that we bought at a local kitchen supplier, and then I custom made the cabinet to go around it, and felt touch and go for a little, but it worked. It worked,
and it turned out much prettier than the Pinterest one.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did a good job.
Yeah.
And then over the refrigerator.
Yeah, so we just used the same kind of construction concept. It's a built-in, and my son Jake helped me, especially with some of the technical cuts and what have you. And I think that turned out terrific, and it encapsulates the refrigerator perfectly. So we can't get another refrigerator now.
No, it's not. That's going to be here for a while. But it was nice because we put some blue on the accent on this side, blue accent on that side, and it just really looked nice. And then the cabinet, you built that from scratch, the microwave cabinet.
Yeah, I had to start from scratch. So I went with the concept of the step back. So a bigger cabinet down below and then up above, like the step back, going up. So it had to be big enough to hold the microwave. And I didn't want to put doors on it. You wanted it to be kind of casual in the front. So
Farmhouse has a lot of curtain things in the front, so that works perfectly for me.
And I was relieved of that because I wasn't looking forward to making custom doors down below.
No, so everything he did turned out beautiful. I mean, it made such a difference in the kitchen.
Yeah, I stalled on that for a while because I really wasn't sure that I could do it.
I knew you could. I had no doubt.
So that mean we're all done forever in the kitchen?
Maybe. Actually, the project we mentioned has something to do with the kitchen.
Yep.
You'll see in a couple weeks.
But that's the most we can say.
Yeah. It's a surprise. But the kitchen went really well.
Yeah, and we're just about done.
So which project would you say was the most scary to you where you thought, I don't know if I can do this?
That was easy. Knowing which one was the scariest. Doing it was the hard part. Definitely the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what we were getting into, especially with the plumbing and the electrical and even what was behind that wall that we tore out. So I had a real hard time with the plumbing. I ended up going to the plumbing store about 4 or 5 times.
But he got it done and it turned out amazing. So the bathroom, that was a huge project, and we actually put it off like 4.5 years. We just kept, maybe next winter, and we finally, early 25 we did it.
Yeah, you know why we pushed it off? 2 reasons.
What was the 2, dear?
One of them was because it was my bathroom.
I won't call it his bathroom. We're the only two that live in this house, and there is a bathroom off the master bedroom, but he was gracious enough to let me have that one because it was prettier and a little bit bigger.
We were used to sharing a bathroom in our suburban house. Yeah.
So now we both have little bathrooms. But yeah, he lived with an ugly bathroom for 4.5 years.
So if you can imagine a phone booth, those of you who remember phone booths, it was probably twice the size of a phone booth.
He's not kidding.
Now you have to remember, this is an 1840 house, so it did not include a bathroom when it was originally built.
So they had to stick it in anywhere they could get it in when they remodeled.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons I was not looking forward to this, because you know, they had to retrofit the plumbing in anyway, and I just really didn't know what to expect. We started tearing walls out, and what kind of plumbing nightmare we would find.
But it was when I said ugly, it was ugly. There was like bumpy plastic stuff on all the walls.
Yeah.
And just the ugly blue door. I mean, everything about it was just, ugh.
The one nice thing, though, it had a heavy, genuine cast iron tub in there. Had one area that maybe needed a little bit of work in it, but I kind of wanted to get rid of it and put in just an amazing shower stall, because I never take baths, you know, but it just didn't work out. The size of the room just didn't fit, and I did not feel like taking on a tiling project and making a custom tile. I was not about to do that.
And just trying to get that tub out of there and down these old farmhouse stairs.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's one thing we didn't do, but everything else we gutted. I mean, remember we tore that ugly stuff off the walls.
Yeah.
We knew what we were going to find under there.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of glue, and what all was that? It was disgusting.
So if I wasn't going to do custom tiling work, then really the main alternative to that is to buy a kit for a shower
For the tub,
stall.
yeah.
So that's what we ended up doing, and you know, fingers crossed that it actually fit, because it was very tight to get in.
Very tight.
Yeah. So once we got over that, I started to feel a little better, but the biggest challenge was the plumbing.
Yeah, he's not excited about plumbing anyway.
Now, I'm known for getting frustrated, you know, especially putting in toilets. And I've done, you know, we had apartments, I've done a lot of plumbing, but that doesn't mean I'm any good at it yet.
And an old house.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff happens.
So when you start tearing out the plumbing, and this is what happened here, we started tearing out the plumbing, things, you know, just don't go. They've been in there a long time and they're frozen in place. So I tried tearing it out, and I had to buy a couple different tools to get all of the plumbing out for the tub. And remember, I had to run to the hardware store and then
we didn't know if we could do it. We thought we were in trouble.
Custom plumbing and get a couple different tools and some advice at the parts counter. Finally, we got it out and we were able to replace it. So that was a major hurdle.
Yeah, that was probably the toughest moment.
Yeah. So we got, we had, you know, the drain line was a problem, and then we had some other problems putting in the new faucet, you know, and the fixtures in. There's not much room for the sink either. It was very tight. And there's not enough room to actually put, what do you call it, vanity.
No. I mean, they had a pedestal sink in before, but it still came out way past the door frame. So I actually looked for one of the smallest pedestal sinks I could find. And it makes it feel roomy in there compared to before.
Yeah.
And it looks much nicer.
Yeah, so that went in okay. We were able to put the plumbing, you know, in behind the pedestal, and that worked out. But I think the other thing that I'm really happy about is when you have such a small bathroom and you just have plaster, and you go to patch over the plaster, whenever you steam it up, a lot of times a pane will come off and it's just not good. So I see why they put that plastic on before, because there were really very few alternatives. But we bought some about 8-inch beadboard that we put in, and that worked out to be fantastic.
And that was a challenge at some places, working around the plumbing, making those cuts, but he did beautifully.
Yeah, if you've ever worked in a bathroom, you know all the tricky cuts in the
Toilet,
small
sink, everywhere.
room. So that worked out good. It went in, and she picked a fantastic color, and I think you helped us paint it.
Yeah.
And
then you made the pretty thing over the window for me to put a nice pretty curtain up there, tab top, and a thing over the tub to hold towels, like a hook thing, all with old barnwood.
Yeah.
And then really nice touches to it.
And then we put in a new, what do they call that, on the wall? For
nice cabinet. Because there's no storage in there at all.
So one big cabinet over the toilet, and then one for
the medicine
shaving
cabinet.
and medicine cabinet.
Yeah, because we replaced a really interesting medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
And a pretty light, because the old light was just in the medicine cabinet. I mean, it just got so much prettier. It's
so anyway,
beautiful.
all that does is underscore the difficulty. If you get a 200-year-old house, especially a farmhouse, the bathrooms are going to be difficult because they were never in the original house and design, and the same thing with the closets and the cupboards. So if you can see your way through those two areas in an old house,
You're
you
good.
got it made.
Now the bathroom, remember the icing on the cake? It did have an ugly, old, hollow core door. It was painted like
Oh, yeah.
robin egg blue.
Yeah.
But it's a very small doorway. Since it's a small room, it's a very thin doorway.
Yeah. Boy, we looked and looked.
We wanted
and
a
looked.
doorway that looked like all the other old doors in the house.
Yeah, and you're not going to find one at the big box store. So we wanted to find an antique that was original in the time frame. But
Facebook Marketplace.
I know, but we had the hardest time finding one.
But we looked and looked and looked, and right at the very end of the project, we found the door.
We had to drive about 30 or 40 miles
Yeah.
away. It was up in a barn a couple counties north of here. But it was worth it because it looks great now.
It's beautiful. It looks like all the other doors up there. And nice old door handle that still worked. I mean, it was perfect. So that was kind of like the icing on the cake of the bathroom. It's all perfect.
Yeah, and you know what the best part of it is?
What's that?
It's all done.
And it is so pretty, because that's the one, if we have guests, that's the one they have to use.
Yeah.
So now when we have guests, they actually have a pretty bit, like the grandkids, when they come to stay over, they always want to use my bathroom.
Yeah.
Because his was so ugly.
Yeah.
Now they'll use his. Not a problem. So everybody's happy. He did a great job. Yeah, but that was the biggest job. That's off our list.
Well, we finished all the staining. Doesn't it feel good to have that part done?
It does feel good. Now on to the next part, huh?
So we're going to say any more what we're using these for?
Guess we can't. It's going to be a surprise.
You have to dial in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Boy, that makes me sound old, doesn't it? Dial in.
Dial in. Yeah, well, we are old. Well, I hope you enjoyed looking back through some of our past projects, because it did give us encouragement to know, okay, we got through those, we'll get through this one too. So for now, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.